We are here in the Institut Pascal laboratory in Clermont-Ferrand, and especially in the chemical and biochemical engineering team, where we work, among other research activities, on the engineering of solar fuel production. Solar fuel are a renewable molecule which can act as energy carrier, and which can be obtained from direct photoreactive conversion just from water or CO2, and using the energy of photon coming from sunlight. There are two kinds of solar fuel. First category, biofuels produced from microalgae, can be obtained by that we call natural photosynthesis engineering. And second, chemical fuels obtained by artificial photosynthesis engineering, requiring that chemists develop new and efficient synthetic catalysts. These processes make it possible to convert and store solar energy into gaseous or liquid chemical fuels, and especially available for mobility. This is the reason why this research is supported by the LabEx IMOBES 3, the Challenge 2 of the CAP 2025 ICIT project on Clermont-Ferrand, and also Clermont-Auvergne Metropole, of course. The main interest of this research is that today 80% of the total energy demand in the world come from fossil fuels, and it is of considerable interest to be able in the future to develop renewable and sustainable, highly efficient processes in order to produce chemical energy carrier, such as, for example, biofuels, hydrogen, methane or methanol. A world with only electricity as energy carrier cannot exist. Our scientific methodology consists usually in confronting a theoretical mathematical model to accurate experimental results obtained at lab-scale equipment that we develop ourselves in the laboratory. To present these experimental devices, we have first different kind of photoreactive system and media, depending on whether we work with natural catalysts like microalgae or a synthetic catalyst for artificial photosynthesis application.
Several 100,000 species of microalgae exist in the nature. We will choose them depending on the application we want. Some of them can accumulate some lipids for biofuel production. Others can produce some polysaccharides, for example. They can have some application in cosmetic or pharmaceutical fields. Also proteins for food application. The different colors comes from their pigment content. Chlorophyll, so the green color, is mandatory for the photosynthesis activity, but they have also, for some of them, some accessory pigments, which can be blue or pink, for example, for red microalgae. And also some carotenoids, which are yellow or orange, which are protective pigments. So we will choose which microalgae we want to use depending on the application, and each of them have its own specificities.
Another major point of our activity is to develop artificial photosynthesis that mimics the behavior of biological systems, but here the reactions are better controlled and thus easier to model. As we are not specialists in chemistry in the team, we work in collaboration with other research laboratories for these applications. The materials can be classified into two main categories. First, the semiconductor materials, such as the CdS-MOS2 complex or the bismuth vanadate. For these applications, we work in collaboration with a lab from Clermont-Ferrand, the Institute of Chemistry of Clermont-Ferrand, and so that besides the choice of the material itself, we are able to tune its morphology to enhance its efficiency. The second class of materials are the molecular bio-inspired ones. So, for instance, a compound that is inspired from photosystem 2 that come from Paris-Saclay University, or another proton reduction catalyst that has been developed in collaboration with a team in Brest.
Basically, we work with 3 different kinds of technologies, all available for the conversion of radiant light energy into chemical fuels or biofuels. The first technology for biofuel production is photobioreactor, which are just illuminated vessel in which microalgae are suspended in aqueous medium.
So we cultivate microalgae in photobioreactors, which are cylindrical or flat plates. We have also the flat plates photobioreactors. These devices are controlled in pH, temperature, and light intensity, and in flow rate of gas input and carbon dioxide amount in the input. We use them to calculate biomass productivities, growth rates. We can perform gas mass balance to evaluate the production of oxygen and the consumption of CO2, and also the consumption of nutrients, to have the best condition to have optimal growth and molecule production also.
The second technology for chemical fuel production is identically a photoreactor in which synthetic catalysts are suspended in also an aqueous medium.
So this is the device in which we implement synthetic catalyst. This is a photoreactor, and we worked under temperature control and under photon flux control. Because we like the photoreactor, we are able to measure the pressure increase due to hydrogen production thanks to a pressure sensor, and we are able also to analyze the gas that is produced thanks to microgas chromatography.
Finally, the third technology, just available for artificial photosynthesis, is completely different. This is a photoelectrochemical cell in which oxidation of water is separated from the reduction of proton in order to produce hydrogen through an electrical device.
So here is an example of a technological device we are working on at the laboratory. It is a photoelectrochemical cell where we could have two main parts. The first one, it is dedicated to the photoanode, where the photons are absorbed and we can carry out oxidation reaction. For example, we are oxidating water. And the other part, it is dedicated to the reduction, for example, to reduce proton to get hydrogen. Thanks to this device, we are separating oxidation and reduction, on the contrary of slurry particles, where both reactions are occurring on the same surface. This device is really easy to control thanks to electrochemistry and this kind of device that is called potentiostat. So we are working on this kind of photoelectrochemical cell by, for example, modifying the incidence photon flux here, by imposing bias to see if our electrodes are active or not. And it can be one of the main technological device to produce hydrogens using solar light in the future, of course.
Experimental results are confronted to theoretical and mathematical knowledge models that we develop, that we call engineering from physics, because this is the only way to design, to optimize, to scale up and to control future highly efficient processes at industrial scale.
Simulating solar fuel production requires to study the physics of light propagation from the sun until it is used in the photosynthetic reaction at the molecular scale within the device. So when sunlight reaches the solar plant, it is collected, for example, with mirror called heliostats that reflects light inside the device where it will be converted. Let's say this device is a reactor containing a suspension of catalytic particles, for example microalgae. So light propagating in this suspension can be scattered several times by the particle before to be absorbed and converted into solar fuels. So to study how this suspension scatters and absorbs light, we need to study interaction between an electromagnetic light wave and the catalytic particle, which is composed of molecules like photosynthetic pigments that are able to convert light energy into electronic excitation that can split water into oxygen and hydrogen, which is the fuel produced. Studying such a complex system involving several physical phenomena and several complex geometry at different scales, the scale of the heliostat field, reactor, particle, molecules, is a challenging research question that we address using the same statistical physics approaches and computation tools as in the cinema industry for animation movies and special effects. So doing so, we are able to test many process design to determine which is the best, and also to control existing process at their optimum, which is a tricky question since sunlight is a highly fluctuating resource depending on the season, the hour of the day, the forecast, including clouds that can pass in a few minutes above the plant.
You have here an example of a solar pilot plant entirely obtained by inverse design method using your knowledge models. This is a 30-liter photoreactor which can be used to produce biofuels, biomass, or also hydrogen from synthetic catalyst. The main advantage of this technology is dilution of incident solar light in order to achieve the maximum of energy efficiency for the process. This is feasible because the surface of light distribution by the optical fibers inside the liquid volume of the photoreactor is much larger than the surface of light collection by the Fresnel lenses. This technology has been used for 2 years in industrial condition for the production of microalgae. We have demonstrated that it was possible to reach the maximum efficiency for natural photosynthesis, but using only constant artificial light illumination. We absolutely need now to work in actual solar conditions. And this is the reason why there is currently the construction of an experimental solar platform named Pavin Solaire. And I hope that in 2022 we should be able to test this technology in real and fluctuating solar conditions.